What up, boys, and welcome back to yet another video. So this is another episode of the series Loot from 100 Runs, and as you guys can see on the title on the thumbnail, this time I've done 100 runs of LBRS, and in this video I'm going to show you guys all of the loot of interest that I've made from doing LBRS 100 times, and we're going to take a look at the total amount of gold and then dim it down to like the gold per hour of doing this for 10 hours or 100 runs. Now, before we dive into the run itself, big thank you to every single one of you guys that has picked up the 0 to 10 million gold guide. Support is massive and I really do appreciate it. So if you haven't picked it up yet, just make sure you use the discount code DRAGONFLIGHT and you'll get it for 50% off. And to every one of you guys that already have the gold guide, and if you like that one, you're definitely going to like the VIP Discord. It's pretty much like a Patreon where everything happens on the Discord. So you get to watch all my YouTube videos before anyone else because they get uploaded to Discord before they go public on YouTube. There's also a bunch of exclusive content on the Discord, like gold tips and investments and spreadsheets for gold making and much more. So that's also going to be linked down below together with the gold guide. Now, basically, I always start these runs by showing the route, right? Before we take a look at the loot. And class, when you're doing this, does not really matter too much. However, like it's possible to do it on every single class. But it's a fairly long dungeon. So if you want to guarantee doing 10 runs in an hour, you pretty much need to do it on a class with good mobility and preferably a speed set. And while I'm running this to show you guys the route right now, do pay attention that I'm not looting. But normally, you want to loot every single time you kill a pack of mobs. You loot, and then you go over to the next pack, and you kill and loot those as well, because only boss loot gets sent to the email. There's a lot of confusion about that when I do these videos. Now, I did skip the Oogie Boogies above. I don't normally do that, but I'm doing all these runs while I'm live streaming, so it takes away a lot of my attention, like replying to the chat, reading all the comments that goes on in the chat. So I skipped the Oogie Boogies and went directly down to these trolls, just so I can ensure that I have plenty of time, right? But you should have no issue doing every single mob in the entire dungeon. But if you don't have the fastest speed set, skipping the Oogie Boogies and going down to this troll area is definitely the best use of your time. Now, it's also worth mentioning that you should have a tune that allows you to open up these chests, because LBRS is a dungeon that has a ton of chest spawns inside of it. Now, this particular speed set druid, I've been lazy and I don't have inscription that allows me to open up, or any other profession that allows me to open up any chests. So the loot from 100 runs this time is without having Arcanite Reaper. It's without having the ability to open up chests, right? And you could get some really good plans and patterns and transmog from the chests, so it's definitely gonna be worth it, right? Now, we gotta kill these spider boys. These were really popular back in the days. Like, people just skipped. They jumped from the starting point of the dungeon and down to like the spiders, because they drop shadow silk, which was needed for the shadow weave mask for one of the secret mounts back in the days. It still sells decently. Like, you get a bunch of materials running this dungeon, and because of the 1007 craft that's coming, they're probably in by the time you guys watch this video, you make even more gold, because you have like powerful mojo and also venom sacks that sells pretty damn well, because they're needed for the soul Gurb craft. So keep that in mind. Do not just blindly vendor all of the materials that you're getting. I mean, we have a region back now, so it's pointless to vendor it, and that's why it's also important to kill these scorpions. Another thing that's good to do if you have skinning, if you have that option, is to skin the scorpions, because the scorpions, they can be skinned for the heavy scorpid scale needed for instance, the heavy scorpid items that was brought back in patch 10.05. So those patterns are available for everyone again, so they sell pretty decently. Now, after killing these mobs right here, we're going up to the last boss, and it is very important to kill the last boss. Like, if you're slow, if you play in a class that's slow or you don't have a speed set, it's better to skip some of the regular mobs in the dungeon and go directly for the last boss, because the last boss has a chance of dropping the Arcanite Champion. Not the Arcanite Reaper that I just picked up, but the better one. The Arcanite Champion has a small chance of dropping from this last boss, so you definitely want to try to at least kill him 10 times an hour, even if that means killing less mobs in the dungeon itself. Now, the Arcanite blacksmithing plants are not the only reason why you want to farm this dungeon. There's a good amount of green items worth keeping. Now, I didn't keep all the greens because, like, I'm doing these runs and I'm taking into consideration what I would personally post, right? Not what everyone should post. But there's a bunch of items that I vendored that you guys definitely want to keep, right? Like a bunch of Albaster's items, for instance. But outside of the greens, it's not the best dungeon for green items. It's all about like the world drop loot table that can be inside of LBRS. Like you have Skullflame Shield, Cloudkeeper leg plates, you have Destiny, and then you also have a ton of good patterns and plans dropping from the dungeon. That, together with the fact that you can get the blacksmithing plants, Arcanite Reaper and Arcanite Champion, makes LBRS a really good farming location. Now, the loot that I received from doing this for 10 hours, minus this one, because I just picked this one up right now, is the following. So, EPICS, really bad. I got myself a Lifestone. You don't want to get a Lifestone. It's a trinket. It sucks. I did get Eye of Flame, which is like, it's an okay epic. There's a lot of epics that's better than Eye of Flame, but there's also a lot of epics that's worse than the Eye of Flame. Like my last one, the Dwarven Hand Cannon, which is really bad, right? In terms of blue items, I got myself the Heart-Seeking Crossbow. It's bad. The Seraphil is bad. Hanzo Sword is pretty decent. And then Orb of Deception is really good because of the sell rate. Like on my realm, they're not worth that much, only 9,000 gold, but that's really high sell rates. And then in terms of patterns and plans, I got Mooncloth Leggings, I got Mooncloth Vests, I got the Arcanite Reaper once, and then one right now. And then I did get one Arcanite Champion plan of my 100 runs. I also got plans for the Radiant Circlet and the Thorium Shield Spikes, which is pretty decent. Now, I kept these heads because I have this mantra where I always keep hats that looks like this like jungle-ish look because they sell usually really well. And then like these bucket hats. And then I always keep eye patches as well. So right now, they have a horrible price on my realm because it's Argent Dawn, full pop realm on EU with a shit ton of gold farmers on it. But I just kept them to show you guys that they drop frequently. They have a good sell rate. And if they're anywhere close to market value, even if they're just 100 gold each, you should definitely post them. I also kept the Heroes Leggings, got a ton of these. They have a good sell rate. Same with the Elegant Robe and also the Arcane Robes. Like robes in general, they typically do well. I only got one Elegant Tunic, but that's also an item that tends to do well. Now, all in all, also keep in mind that I got 225 Powerful Mojo and 597 Huge Venom Sac. It's not a ton, but however, it's 22.5k gold just in Powerful Mojo and 4,000 gold in Huge Venom Sac. It's better than vendoring it because the sell rate on this is really decent, and it's just going to go up once patch 10.07 is out, unless it's already out at the recording of this video, right? So all in all, the gold per hour, the market value on everything that I have right here, if we take a look at Bag Appraiser or the add-on, is 349,000 gold. So pretty much 35,000 gold an hour, which is bad. I'm telling you, I've done 100 runs of LBRS many times. I've done thousands of runs of LBRS, and I think this is the worst outcome that I've had. I really do. It's nothing to brag about. My last time when I did 100 runs of LBRS, I got double Skullflame Shield. Now that was good. Now, if we change this to the price on my realm, like min buyout, the actual realm price, it's 337,000 gold. So not a big difference, but it's like a lot of people are happy when making 35,000 gold an hour, right? But that's typically when you're sitting on items that sells fast. Like this is all patterns and plants and transmo, which doesn't sell fast. So 35k an hour really bad. It really is. But I'm super stoked to keep on going and do different dungeons. And this is since Dragonflight came out and since I restarted this series, this is so far the worst dungeon that I've done. And this dungeon, it's typically one of those that do really well. So RNG can be a bitch, right? And with that being said, though, that was pretty much it for today's video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to check out the VIP Discord linked together with the gold guide down below, and I will see you all back in at tomorrow's video. But until then, bye-bye.